The U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C. has fixed a new date to advance a motion to release President Bola Tinubu's record by its security agencies, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) and the Central Intelligence Agency (CIA). Now, recorded in 2022, anti-corruption campaigner Aaron Greenspan teamed up with Nigerian journalist David Hundeyo to submit a Freedom of Information Act request for the FBI to turn over Mr. Tinubu's case file under their control, particularly his role in narcotic trafficking ordeal that had him forfeit $460,000 to the US government in 1993. Now, the files were also expected to clarify decade-long controversies regarding Mr. Tinubu's background, including the name, age, and gender under which he entered the United States. Now, Bola Tinubu fiercely resisted the request made by Aaron Greenspan and David Hundeyo to have those files released to them, saying that he would be adversely affected should the files be made in the public domain. Mr. Greenspan's effort to expedite the release of the FBI files before the Nigerian Supreme Court could pass a judgment on the electoral dispute challenging Mr. Tinubu's victory were unsuccessful. Judge Berhower had in November 2023 allowed Mr. Tinubu to intervene and oppose his record from being released, saying he had a right to protect his interests given his claim that he would be adversely affected. But on Thursday, June 6, Mr. Howard asked the opposing parties, Mr. Greenspan and Tinubu, to submit a joint status report latest September 3 in furtherance of the matter. Now, many of you are familiar with this story already. During the 2023 presidential election campaign, the campaign period, a story surfaced online that was brought to the fore by the Nigerian investigative journalist David Hundeyo regarding Bola Tinubu's drug trafficking case in the United States. While he was staying in Chicago, he was arrested for drug trafficking, and he was meant to forfeit a $460,000 to the United States government in order to be released. So when he was released, he came to Nigeria and joined politics and became the governor of Lagos State. He became a senator, then the governor of Lagos State, and then now he's the president. So that case was on the public domain. David Hundeyo just brought it to the fore, and it generated a lot of reaction. So when he won the election, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP used that against him to challenge his victory in court. Then Atiku Abubakar went to the United States and also tried to get documents of Bola Tinubu that shows when he get into Lagos, because there are a lot of stories that Bola Tinubu went into Lagos and stole someone's identity. That there's a claim about his age, there's a claim about his name, that everything about him was changed. So if that was actually revealed, he would have committed an act of felony, that he lied under oath, an act of perjury, he lied under oath. So Atiku Abubakar was asking the US courts to release documents they have in their custody about Bola Tinubu, because those documents that of Bola Tinubu as far back as 1993 will reveal his true person. But the United States government did not release that document. They delayed and delayed and delayed until the case was in the Supreme Court. When the document that was released to Atiku Abubakar, the document that contains his academic qualification, which shows that he forged the certificate that he tendered to INEC. But when it was submitted, it was given to Atiku Abubakar, it was already late. According to the Supreme Court of Nigeria, they say they cannot accept that document. So whatever rulings they did it with that document, because the document shows that Bola Tinubu forged the certificate he submitted to INEC, of which his handlers came out and said that it's allowed in US, any vendor can print a certificate and give to you. But the main documents that will actually reveal the true identity of Bola Tinubu has not been released. The United States government has been holding that, and a lot of person has been questioning why. Where you need to understand that when you are a politically exposed person in Africa, you become a person of interest. For instance, Mr. Peter Obi is a politically exposed person. Atiku Abubakar is a politically exposed person. Bola Tinubu is a politically exposed person. What does it mean? It means that these persons can become the president of their country at any given point in time. So if the Western power, they have anything against you, they will not like to release it. They will use that as a bargaining chips. Now, this was coming up then. People were like, oh, the United States government, they are not going to release any file belonging to Bola Tinubu, because they would definitely use that as a bargaining chips for Bola Tinubu. That was what they were saying back then, and they did not release that file. where the election has been done and dusted, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and his presidency has been authenticated by the Supreme Court. Now, a few months later, there was a coup, a military coup in Niger Republic, and Tinubu was the ECOWAS head of state. ECOWAS head of state, and he sanctioned Niger Republic, placed an embargo on them, and even threatened them with military intervention. And a lot of persons were asking, why are you actually doing? Why are you taking this too serious? These people are happy with a coup in their country. Why are you taking this so serious? Why are you punishing them? And some persons were saying that Tinubu is being used as a puppet to advance this cause. He's advancing the cause of some powers that build, but where the sanction or the military intervention did not work, and it was released by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And then the United States government withdrew their military bases in Niger Republic. After that military base was withdrew from the Niger Republic, there was rumor or allegedly reports that the United States government want to site their military bases in Nigeria. Now, this story was met with many resistance from people. A lot of persons condemned it. A lot of persons accepted it that if they site their military base in Nigeria, it's going to help to curb insecurity. And some persons were reminding them, all right, they cited their military bases in Niger Republic, and that did not stop the insecurity. Having a military bases in a country does not stop insecurity. It's actually to advance the interest of the country that cited that military base. A lot of persons have criticized the United States government and other foreign Western power that they cite their military base in Africa in order to get their mineral resources. That is the reason why they cite their military base, not in the case of fighting terrorism or crime as it has been stated. So a lot of persons were apprehensive of the fact that the United States government want to cite a military base in Nigeria, and that did not go down well with a lot of persons. Now, it was at this point that the story about Bola Ahmed Tinubu having cases with the United States government came to the fore, and people were saying that the United States government are going to use that case against Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a bargaining chip to have him agree that they should cite their military base in the United States. Now, these are all opinions that people are saying. Now, we are hearing that the United States government, the district court in the United States, they want to fix a date to decide to release this document belonging to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which Bola Ahmed Tinubu has cried previously that if this document is being released to the public domain, it's going to affect him adversely. That means there is something negative in that document that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is fighting with his life to protect. And the question that everybody is asking the United States government is, why now? When this document was needed, when it was needed to advance the case in the Supreme Court, this document was not released. Why are you trying to release this document now? What effect, what change will it bring? Could it be as a result of Tinubu holding a US citizen in the maximum curriculum? Remember, the Binance executive is still being held by the Nigerian government. According to them, they say that the Binance has committed an act of treason by tampering with the forex exchange in this country. Could it be to force him to release that Binance executive? Or what could be the reason why they decide to release that document at this point in time? Because currently that document is not going to make any meaning. Tinubu is the president. Whatever you're going to release is not going to damage his reputation. His reputation has already been damaged when he was alleged to have committed drug trafficking in the United States of America. So whatever document they will release now was needed when his case was in court, because that document would have helped the Supreme Court to pass their judgment, even though we knew that the Supreme Court has already made up their mind to legalize Tinubu's presidency. So they were not going to rely on any document that will be forwarded to them. But whatever it may, we are going to look forward to when that document will be released, and we're going to know what that document contains. That will help us to know more about our president. Remember, a lot of persons are saying that Tinubu's age is not the same, it's not what he claimed to be, Tinubu's name is not what he claimed to be. There are a lot of controversies around him, and that document will expose all that. So we are expecting to see what that document will contain. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.